For all type of video and audio transfers on DVDs or CDs, please contact Joe Borg on 0414 429 391. Good day, Maltese show. I'm Joe Borg and I'm going to be with you for another week, and I trust that you're going to enjoy the show. Sunday, we're going to have bingo at the Hamroom Club, 100 Jackson Street, Marsden Park. We're going to have free muffins, coffee, or tea, and we have 15 games, and you win good prizes, which is money. So, all electronically, computerized. So when you come, enjoy playing the games and you win some money. Who knows? See you at 3:30. We're going to open the show with a beautiful song by Mary SPITERI, Malta.
It's
Why Malta is so popular in 2025.
The next day after Gozo, we visited the fisherman's cave, named Galleria. Look for path Galleria on Google Maps, and then for this door with the letters RTO on it. From there you will follow the path to the entrance of the cave, which is also on Google Maps. You will make wonderful photos here. Just make sure to keep a safe distance from the edge. While in the cave, we met some locals that told us about a lesser-known cave, very close to this one. It's these hidden corners that make exploring Malta so rewarding. After exiting the cave, we lingered for a while to admire the cliffs and fly the drone. That's when we saw the other cave by accident. Without even knowing, that's where we would go next. It's called Gar Hassan Cave on Google Maps. To get to the cave, this is where we parked. And this is the path. Some locals pointed out to us where to go, to find out that the entrance was actually closed. Once you are in, the way to get deeper is to the right, a bit hidden. It's dark, but after a few steps you see the light. Fisherman's Cave, 5 minutes from here, is supposed to be one of the hidden gems of Malta. But this place, never heard before, a local just told us an hour ago. Wow. As soon as you get in, look for the corridor going to your right, and this is where you will come. Hidden gems of Malta? I think this is one. Next day, we drove to Marsalog, a charming fishing village. From above, our drone reveals a breathtaking view of the harbor, where the boats create mesmerizing patterns on the calm waters. During sunset, the waterfront comes alive, with many photographers capturing the golden hour. When in Malta, you also have to try pasticci, the beloved local pastry, filled with ricotta or peas.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So you got your pasticci?
I've got my first pasticci.
Simple yet delicious, is a must-try for anyone visiting. We then visited Ngar, on the western side of the island, to see the city and the nearby Tahagrat temple. That's when we noticed some kind of preparations. Without even knowing, our visit to Malta was timed with a strawberry festival, which would take place the very next day, so we left the city in excitement and added the event to our plans. Unfortunately, the visit to Tahagrat never happened, since we didn't buy our tickets in advance. We wanted to get in the Tahagrat temple, but we need to have a ticket.
IL-KAZIN, the club. The topic is the drugs. With your host, MALLIA.
Il-KAZIN li jmiss dan jismu Sean Fenek.
Jienu. Mela, l-mistoqsija tiegħi dal-klim kollu ta' tnaqqis ta' riskju, tnaqqis ta' ħsara. Jista' jiġi interpretat bħala jisu sugar coating tal-fatt li id-droga tkisser il-ħajjiet, tkisser in-nies, u mhux tal-lijek tal-li ma' droga mhux biss għandek stejjer bħal tal-putu li għadu kif tkellem u ta' Miguel ukoll li
Li hemm nies marbutin, nies li tħobb, eċetera, eċetera, li jħobbu.
U mhux tal-li nies li tħobb, nies qrib tiegħek ma' s-soċjetà in ġenerali, tipo droga fiha hemm ħafna kriminalità.
Il-min tixtieq tindirazza din il-mistoqsija?
Kulħadd jista' jwieġibha fil-verità.
Alright, però naħseb l-iktar persuna naħseb li idonja biex twieġeb tkun.
Forsi xi ħaġa li ma tantx ħareġ ċar huwa meta qed nitkellmu fuq human rights based drug policies maħniex ngħidu li inti għandek human right li tuża drogi, imma li inti tibqa' human being irrespective if you're using a legal or an illegal substance. Issa, id-drogi ovvjament għandhom il-benefiċċji u għandhom ir-riskji tagħhom. Meta aħna qegħdin nużaw kliem alternattiv, dan ma ġiex mis-sema, ġifieri da li inti tuża kliem inqas stigmatizzat jgħin biex jekk persuna għandha problema tfittex l-għajnuna. Fil-fatt, wieħed mill-ikbar barriers biex persuna tfittex l-għajnuna huwa l-istigma u d-diskriminalizzazzjoni. Ġifieri li inti jkollok miżuri bħal decriminalization, depenalization kif rajna fit-2015, kollha jgħinu biex inaqsu mhux neċessarjament l-użu ta' drogi imma r-riskji u l-użu problematiku li huwa relatat ma' dawn is-sustanzi.
Meta tajt sentenza bħal drogi għandhom il-benefiċċji tagħhom u għandhom il-problemi tagħhom, tħoss li kultant isa ħanuħulu minna ta' diet jew bit-sokkor.
Le, laqqa xej.
Timminimizza naqra
Le, laqqa xej, anzi, qed nagħti l-istampa ċara għaliex ħafna drabi nitkellmu biss fuq in-negattiv u ninsew li l-persuna qed tieħu xi tip ta' benefiċċju. Ovvjament, meta qed nitkellmu fuq dipendenza, hemmhekk imbagħad għandek sitwazzjoni differenti.
Għalina Mattew?
L-ewwel semmet il-problema mhijiex id-droga mhijiex l-addiction u l-addiction mhijiex id-droga. Huma affarijiet żewġ affarijiet kompletament differenti. Waħda mill-affarijiet għalfejn il-persuna tiżviluppa addiction hija trauma. Addiction is a trauma response. It's a trauma response. Now, drugs are a symptom of society. Huwa sintomu, mhuwiex il-problema. U minn hawnhekk qed nara l-mistoqsija tiegħek. U qed nifhimha b'naqra lenti differenti. Issa għandna nfittxu li jkollna soċjetà qed infittxu. fejn in-nies jużaw inqas droga. Jiġifieri s-soċjetà hija l-highlight, mhux id-droga, f'dik il-mistoqsija li poġġejt inti. Għax aħna din nfittxu soċjetà. U l-problema hija s-soċjetà mhux id-droga.
U aħna bħala membri ta' din is-soċjetà x'għandna nagħmlu?
Stja.
Programm ieħor
Naħseb kollox. Aw waħda mir-raġunijiet għalfejn kont nistenna dal-programm ma nafx kemm il-sena hija forsi li nkun bil-qiegħda hawnhekk. Ma nistgħux aħna nwieġbu dik il-mistoqsija nirriflettu għal ħadd ieħor jekk aħna ma mmorrux id-dar u nagħmlu l-homework tagħna kif suppost qabel ma nibdew nitkellmu fuq kemm għandi jkollu pakketti fil-but, kemm jista' jtini siringi mill-poliklinik, x'jista' jagħmel it-tabib.
X'inhu dak ix-xogħol? X'inhu dak ix-xogħol?
Xogħol fuqna nfusna b'onesta kbira. Jien dak salva li ħajti. Nara nies xahar ilu approach jgħid żewġ entitajiet hawn Malta ta' rehabilitation centers. Għedtulhom għalfej għadkom ma missejtux ma xi ħaġa daqshekk kruċjali li llum ix-xjenza qed turi biċ-ċar fejn daw jekk għamlu xogħol jekk għamlu sena ġo rehab center għalfej mat-tieni ġimgħa ma miltulhomx detox kif suppost. Daw in-nies imorru għand psikjatra jagħtihom pirmla 2-3 sew li l-half-life tagħha ġifieri di kemm tibqa' bl-effett. Għandha ġimagħtej jew iktar u tibqa' fil-ġisem xhur. U jgħidlek l-esma di mhix qed taħdem neħħiha u ħanbiddillek ħudi. Mela meanwhile hemm di transition fej l-effett tal-pirmla l-oħra għadha għaddejja u ħantik pirmla oħra. Kif jista' jkun taħdem
ix-xogħol li naħseb kont qed timmira lejh imur oltre minn hekk. Fis-sens dal-iskambju beda meta saqsejlek psikjatra. Is-soċjetà li għandna bżonn naslu għalih, aħna parti minna s-soċjetà, aħna kollha din is-soċjetà
responsabbli għal dil-biċċa tax-xogħol.
Aħna x'għandna nagħmlu bħala individwi, jiena fil-poter tiegħi. Kieku tgħidli isma' Ġan, tax missek tagħmel inti biex is-soċjetà tkun aħjar?
Meta ġa saqsiet lill-mistoqsija, ma nasibx li mis-soċjetà eżistenti ta' bħalissa nistgħu nittekiljaw dik il-mistoqsija. Il-mentalità tas-soċjetà tittinbidel kompletament biex inkunu nistgħu nikkejterjaw dik il-mistoqsija. Ir-rehab centers u daw l-affarijiet għadhom mhumiex qed imissu mal-affarijiet bażiċi.
Pereżempju, jiena kelli konversazzjoni twila mal-putu u kont pjuttost impressjonat għax għatlu l-għura xtodu tagħmlu jiena fil-xismu. U għalli pereżempju waħda minnhom kienet li jpoġġu bil-qiegħda. U jgħodu jistaqsu lilhom infushom, jistaqsil ta' faċċata tiegħek, int min int. Li hija identika, hija miżura identika għal dak li kont qed tgħid int.
Mhuwiex illum il-ġurnata għandu ngħid f'daw l-aħħar żnien kemm inni qed nistudja f'daw l-aħħar xahar li mhuwiex biżżejjed. Kelli pazjenti tiegħi nies li daw kienu full on stress, ma jorqdux bil-lejl u ansjetà u biża'. Qedtulhom isma' aqbad hawn dil-herbs, ħarba naturali ġifieri mhix te. Mux psikodelika jew hekk, naturali. U għabad detox. Ħudi, affarijiet naturali li ssibhom mill-farmasi daw. U għamel detox. Ma
taħseb li dawk l-affarijiet li jibbastaw jew ma
terapija. Illum qed nindunaw bil-gut brain connection. Daw in-nies ġol gut għadhom jekk ma tagħmilx detox, għadek iġġor. Dak l-imbarazz kollu li ħadd fi żnien qabel. Dak l-imbarazz kollu li ħadd għadu hemmhekk ħaj jikkrejalek cravings biex inti terġa' tmur tieħu. Inti hawnhekk qatt ma tista' tirrehabilitah kif suppost jekk ma tnaddafx hawnhekk.
Mela, Ġan?
Ħankompli daqsxejn nirrispondi l-mistoqsija li għadha kif saret u nibda daqsxejn fuq għall-putu wkoll. Il-harm reduction tajjeb u dil-retorika li naqsu r-riskju tajjeb tal-użu mhuwiex promozzjoni għall-użu, tajjeb aħna bħala setqa għandna dmir illi nagħtu informazzjoni tajjeb fuq pereżempju kif wieħed jista' juża l-eroina b'mod alternattiv biex ma jfaqqax fil-vina, pereżempju, eżempju sempliċi, tajjeb, jew nkella biex meta jfaqqa b'mod sejf, tajjeb, ma jfsirx li qed nippromovu l-użu, tajjeb, imma dak huwa parti essenzjali ħafna mix-xogħol tagħna, tajjeb. L-ideal iva, xorta jibqa' illi wieħed ma jużax, tajjeb biex ma nagħtux stampa differenti. Issa, il-mistoqsija
PROFILI with the special guest LUDWIG GALEA and your host James Aaron ELLUL.
Fil-ħodu l-ħadd dejjem kienet tkun l-istess rutina. Nilbsu abbatini ta' 8, lestu il-dan. Leslie kien ikun viċi prefett, għax kuġinuħ kien ikun il-prefett. Wara li l-lestu konna niġu għawek l-Furjana fej il-Tritoni umorru l-Monti l-Antik, daqqa nxu xie għasfu,
Żgur, għalem ġivirije.
Zgur, kien jisu open market.
Ekku.
Open market, bat konna mmorru fej viċin fej il-librerija, hemm kafetterija, għax ma sawx nagħmlu riklami, mmorru nieħdu l-kafe u l-pastizzi hemmhekk tax-xema.
Eżatt.
Tax-xema. Mbagħad ninżlu l-isfel. Issib in-nanna u n-nannu
mbagħad naħseb l-ikla ġifieri.
Ta' żgur mbagħad għandek l-ikla tal-ħadd. Imma apparti mbagħad dan kien ikollok di l-interrogation jekk inti vera mort xil-qoddis, jew le speċjalment iktar ma tibda titfarfar, you know?
Ma kellux jiġi jarawkom ġifieri.
Le, għat inti naf 14, 15 jibdew jisru l-girls.
Tajt li sejra u disabbat ġifieri. L-edukazzjoni, l-iskola.
L-edukazzjoni update l-ewwel il-Chiswick House School, konna għadna bla uniformi ta' sliema. U hemmhekk.
Kif kontu tmorru bil-karozza?
Konna morru bil-van. Meta kont immorru mill-belt, kien serta li viċin in-nanna, għall-għajti għal-ġenna, għada ħajja. Kenna l-mismorin. Mismorin tqgħod ħadej in-nanna, allura konna tilqu minn faċċata ta' St. Augustine, fi Vincenti Buildings, u mmorru meta kont inkun għand in-nanna nitilqu lejn il-House School ta' Sliema li tiġi fix-Xini Salesjani. Hemmhekk kien beda kienu ndunaw it-teachers illi hemm xi ħaġa fl-arti għaliex jiena kont tifel kwit ħafna. I never was an A student, dejjem kont jisu dak il-BC student f'dak li huwa akademiku fil-mezz orribli. Fil-mezz
orribli. Miegħek hawnhekk, ġifieri.
Imma most of the time inti meta inti tkun ħażin fil-mezz u mbagħad fl-arti. U minn hemm qisu dana. U f'Year 1 qisu kont ħadd l-ewwel prize għal performing and acting li għadu għandi dal-imberektib u kienu jihduna għalix peress li kienet house school, kienu jihduna is-Salesjani biex namlu, per eżempju, school concert u hekk. Imbagħad kelli problema tal-Ingliż, għaw kelli problema tal-Malti, kelli problema li nitkellem biss bl-Ingliż. U jisu fil-Year 5, mama u l-papa kienu deċidu li jihduni St. Elizabeth, ta' Sliema stess, St. Francis. U hemmhekk jisu bdejt il-Malti wkoll. Imbagħad minn hemm mort St. Elias. St. Elias dak iż-żmien kienet Mount Carmel.
Eżatt, ekku.
Qabel kienet Mount Carmel College. Konna għadna bl-uniformi kannella u hekk. U hemmhekk imbagħad it-teachers u l-istaff temmek komplew jiftħu li l-bibin kollha għall-arts.
Ekku. L-aspett mużikali, kun smajt anka intervisti li kellek fil-bidu tal-karriera tal-mużika. U għazzardajt kważi għat li l-familja tiegħek titwildu kważi bl-istrument fidejkom. Ġifieri, x'inhi din l-affari eżatt, ġifieri.
Il-nannu kienu doq il-klarinet mal-armi. Ġifieri xogħol kien full-time musician mal-armi. Itzju ta' nannu li aħna ngħidu l-Tziju Ċik, għax da baqa ngħidu l-Tziju Ċik, huwa Patri Bert, li kien Augustinjan, U kien il-Majstru Kappella tal-Konkatedral ta' San Ġwan u tal-Imdina.
Għabek ġol qatna t-nej,
Ġifiri aħna bil-forsi ġifiri ma li titwilet un-bat titmur titsujċik.
Għandek il-mawudija l-oħra.
Bil-forsi. Ġifiri aħna meta najdu l-familja najdu jiena, Konrad Briffa, li huwa il-pjanist, Paolo, il-Fakawi. Ġifiri da konna nkunu hemm, meta konna namlu teorija, ġifiri burdell, xeba mantizziju, mbagħad imorru d-dar, għax qabel kollox old school, iċempel l-lomna missiena, edu isma daw mamlu xejn, ma tkun winna ġifiri xi satej u nofs namlu teorija, maġena, ġifiri mamlu xejn, u nerġgħu naqalaw ċamata oħra.
Belet il-ġenituri.
Għabad it-tsiju ċik, kien għajatlu għalleħ firlu Monsignor Meċija, l-Arċisqof ta' kizmin, u darit illi f'tal-10 tal-Katedral jixtri l-ispellizzi għas-subien ħomor u bojot jisom tal-Westminster u jgħamil jisu kor bitfall mejjun xi kultant bl-adulti, bit-tenuri. U minn hemm it-siju nduna illi għandi xi ħaġa. Għaliex by default bdejt inħossom ħfif għalkemm huma boring kanta jenna Angelus Dei, Pater Noster. Tifhem
il-moviment u inqas biex ġifieri.
Ta' kien jgħidli kanta di lud. Għax il-lud kien jgħidli kanta di lud. U kont nagħmilha. U għakid ċebellhom, għalla da tifel jidher illi hemm xi ħaġa hemm. Għalli bħal speċi xi trid. Għalli teorija trid tagħmel sal-grade 6 żgur biex inti mbagħad tkompli l-assoċjat fil-kant. Ġifieri għax daw aħna kollha ġifieri bil-fors trid tagħmel jew l-RSM jew ATCL, jiġifieri bil-fors. M'għandekx option. M'għandekx option kważi aħjar ma tigradwax mill-università ma jrid ikollok dak importanti. Insomma da komplejna bit-teorija, komplejna bil-pjanu, il-pjanu kien jgħani ħafna later on inti tinduna u għax inti l-pjanu iġalek tisma' ħafna. Second harmony, third harmony, tifimni mbagħad kien jgħinni ħafna l-choir tal-ħadd mingħajr ma kont naf għaliex inti tidra il-widna tisma' x'inhu jagħmel ħadd ieħor imma inti qed tagħmel xi ħaġa wara. U minn hemm mbagħad bqajt nistudja. Ġifieri tziju ċek, ġifieri kien baqa' jgħajjat li saftit qabel ma miet, ġifieri kien jarani fuq it-television, tkun xi xuxata. Ma out of respect, ġifieri kien jgħidli inżel saċċella lud ħan nitkellmu. U kon ngħid mamma mija men ħajniżilnu ġifieri ninżlu, naħdu kafè, u mbagħad ngħidlu x'ġara zzi. Jgħidli pereżempju kellek dak ir-ritmu, kien hemm dak in-nifs, ħadtu twil, darba oħra ħdu rubato.
Illum nassumi daw il-konverzazzjonijiet ta' prezzom, ġifieri iktar minn dak iż-żmien, ġifieri.
Ħafna.
Tħares lura tajt il-konverzazzjonijiet.
Kienu.
For all type of video and audio transfers on DVDs or CDs, please contact Joe Borg on 0414 429 391. The Great Conclusive of the Pope Benedict. Continue.
He writes on an old writing machine. He doesn't tweet. But then he knows, and he said it, the importance of the media in this global world.
Pope Francis's quick wit and ability to relate to ordinary people has made him popular.
He's very frugal in his eating. very austere. And they say, if you're invited to dinner, take something with you, or you'll come away hungry.
He has the wit of the people of Buenos Aires. He's open, quick, funny, simpatico, laughs a lot. He's not solemn and not formal. This man's going to have the whole world eating out of his hand.
Despite his old-fashioned style, Pope Francis understands the need for more openness with the media.
He gave the best pieces to the media. He gave it out to the media. And at the same time, he said, look, the moment things were getting very, very dramatic, hot, he said, on my side, I had the Cardinal of Sao Paulo, Brazil, and he said, you shouldn't forget the poor. And so, the Pope says, the name Francis came to me.
The Holy Spirit of God sparked a whole movement, in this case represented by St. Francis of Assisi, which placed the Church in front of the decision to return to the poverty of the Gospel.
All that Francis means not only for the Catholics, but for the whole world. Everybody knows who Francisco de Assisi, or Francis of Assisi, is. And the saint that believed in going back to basics and to nature and the environment.
During his first sermon, on the day of his inauguration in Rome, Pope Francis established the guiding values of his papacy. The Church and humanity, he said, are the custodians of the created universe, and, as such, are called on not only to show brotherly love, but to renew man's ties with nature.
All his first moves were, I'm the Bishop of Buenos Aires one day. It's a big urban church with a lot of challenges. I'm the bishop of this local church, Rome, with all its challenges. I can do this. He knows how to speak to people as a pastor.
Latin America as well is like the nest for populism. The narrative is we belong to the poor, we are doing everything for the poor. So if you have instead a leader that leads 1.2 billion people in the world, this is going to change the way Latin America is going to look at the church once again.
Father Gustavo Carrara, parish priest of Nuestra Señora del Pueblo, likes to think that Pope Francis will embrace the farthest outposts of Christianity as leader of the Catholic Church.
This present Pope used to speak of existential frontiers, by which I mean searching the frontier, which is something that God did. He became incarnate not in the heart of the Roman Empire, but in the farthest reaches, in a small forgotten village that no one had ever heard about.
There's a sort of return to God through Pope Francis, and this has become his mission now. So just as he would go out into the streets here, now he is going out into the world.
He's a great politician. With the church in crisis, there was a need for a great politician to lead it, to avoid the disaster it was going towards.
The church knows. The church has archives. The church has witnesses. We ask them to help us.
Now he's got to make a lot of choices about things he never had to think about much, so he needs the help of our prayer and support and all. He needs a lot of advice. But his biggest strength is, I think, his simple integrity, where, there's nothing manipulative about him or false. And that comes across, and that will give us all courage to govern well, too.
In any case, the truth should never be hidden. The truth does not offend.
The church is about keeping alive the message of Jesus Christ, which is one of love of God and mercy of God, and also giving hope and meaning to people, a hope even beyond the grave. And now people, that's good news if it's preached and witnessed to by a generous and sacrificial life. This Pope Francis, is one who I think gives more emphasis to that by his personal witness.
On March the 19th, 2013, Jorge Mario Bergoglio was installed as the 266th Pope and Bishop of Rome. Roman Catholics the world over will remember this day as the beginning of a new era for their 2,000-year-old church, with his powerful message reaching the farthest frontiers of this global faith.
Malta and the public transport, if it's by bus or by ferry.
What you might also find at other bigger bus stations. For the rest, things basically speaks for themselves. The bus station has been divided into 3 different zones: A, B and C. For specific bus lines, you obviously find different bus stops, also mentioned as bays. For example, A10, A11, A12, A13, A14 and A15 here on the right. It has been generally marked what area to go to for what bus lines, and also at the beginning of the bays or the platforms, this has been clearly marked. Most buses that do serve this bus station are very regional buses. It's very difficult to have not regional buses in a country that is such a small country as Malta, but the kind of longer distance buses do depart from section B. And this is basically the Airport Express and line X300 that will go to the ferry terminal, where you'll find the ferries to Gozo and Comino. Right here we are at section B, and opposite from the street over here you will find section C. Most buses do depart from section A at the Valletta bus station. And right next to all bus stops or bays, you do find digital screens and also some offline information about the timetable, the routes, etc. This counts basically for all buses. And within pretty much all buses I noticed also digital screens that will host route information, although I have to say in some buses it's definitely better than in other buses. There is a rather good app for planning your public transportation in Malta, and most public transportation is also listed in Google Maps. What I noticed is quite a lot of buses here have been produced in China. What's not that strange, but normally if you have Chinese buses, these are electric buses, but here in Malta most buses are not even electric. Anyway, the kind of longer distance buses from Valletta bus station do depart, at least at the moment of recording, from bus stop B1. And from here on we will take our next bus that will take us to the point where you find the ferries to Gozo and to Comino. You also find a direct ferry from Valletta though, but we'll take that on the way back. Within the small luggage racks above the seats, you will find a reading light, an air conditioning and USB sockets. USB-A sockets to be exact. There's one USB-A socket per seat basically. And yes, the reading lights are working, although I wouldn't use it that often myself actually. First of all, I don't like to read when I'm on a bus. And second of all, when we made these journeys, it was really sunny. Once again, for the airport direct buses and also line X300 that we'll be taking right now, you do find some dedicated luggage space below the bus. And you find smaller luggage racks above the seat. There are some priority seats, and in the middle of the bus you'll find this space for strollers or people traveling in a wheelchair, for example. Although these buses don't have level boarding. You can pay on board of these buses using a contactless payment card. But what we did for our trip in Malta, we bought an Explore card, what is a 7-day unlimited travel by bus tickets. To be honest, I think if we would just have bought separate individual tickets, that would have been more or less the same price, even though with an unlimited ticket you might have some more freedom. I mean, it's totally up to you what you prefer. The buses in Malta can be very busy in the high season from what I've heard. But I think it's rather busy here in general if you go here in the high season. When we were in Malta, it was in May. Anyway, for now I'll just show you the views from the bus between Valletta and Circua on the other end of the island, where you find the ferries to Gozo and also to Comino, the smallest island that belongs to the country of Malta. After that, we'll take the high-speed ferry from Gozo back to Valletta again. The bus is arriving at Circua Ferry Terminal. You'll also find a bus stop, obviously. From here you will find the big ferries that will go to Gozo, what is the other island that belongs to the country of Malta. However, there is a very small third island, Comino, and you do find some kind of ferries from here to there as well, mainly heading to the so-called Blue Lagoon. No, not the one in Iceland. Well, these are not really serious ferries. They are just boats that bring you from A to B, and it's not a long journey anyway. Also, these ferries to Comino are relatively pricey. The island of Comino is inhabited as well, with a population of about 3. At least this is what I found on Wikipedia, maybe this is wrong, but not many people do live here. Let it be no surprise that for the same reason you can't find hotels over here. Actually, I looked for this when I booked this Malta trip, but well, I haven't done my research well enough, I found out afterwards. The ferry makes some more stops along the way to some scenic parts before we arrive at the Blue Lagoon. What is just very busy, and we were not even here on the high season. I guess even if you're here on the high season, just try to be here early, and otherwise just skip it. Malta doesn't have a lot of beaches though, and well, some kind of beaches can be found over here. But this place was just super busy. It felt like you find lots of monkeys sitting on a rock, or taking selfies for Instagram. In terms of food options, there's not a shortage of that over here. If you want to visit the Blue Lagoon, you can also do this if you stay, for example, in Sliema or Valletta, where we stayed. Take an excursion from that part of the island and, well, have a whole day trip.
10 best places to visit or to live in Malta.
Malta exploration is often a delightful experience. Finding the greatest areas to live in Malta, however, requires a more methodical approach. This includes seeing potential locations, learning about the neighborhood's facilities and infrastructure, studying the local real estate market, and asking other foreign residents for their thoughts. Here's a summary of the most well-liked expat communities in Malta to get you started with your investigation. Malta is one of those nations where modern and traditional elements coexist. The north feels unquestionably more modern than the south. There is a noticeable contrast between the island's northern and southern regions in terms of population and urbanization. Since most people live in the north, those looking for peace and quiet may find the south's rural tranquility and quiet to be rather hospitable. There are plenty of places in Malta that are already popular with foreign visitors. You should have no trouble deciding which one best fits your needs, be it a bustling metropolis, an amazing beach resort, or a genuinely serene, tiny fishing village. In today's video, we will talk about the 10 best places to live or retire in Malta. Number 10. Gozo. You may take a regular ferry from Malta to the little island of Gozo. Between Sirkewa on Malta and Magar on Gozo, ferries depart every 45 minutes. To get across, it takes about 25 minutes. If you appreciate living a calm and introspective life, the island is unquestionably among the greatest places to live in Malta. With its charming Baroque churches and quaint stone farmhouses scattered throughout the landscape, Gozo exudes natural beauty and charm. The island is home to some of the top dive locations in the Mediterranean, as well as dramatic coastlines and untamed landscapes. Clean air and a traditional rustic way of life can be found in Gozo. Popular locations in Gozo are the ancient city Victoria, Xlendi, and Marsalforn. Gozo is incredibly serene, with a leisurely, rustic pace of living. Retirement residents seem to like Gozo a lot because it offers all the conveniences they require for daily living. High-quality improvements have recently been made to Gozo's road network, and frequent ferries to Malta are available. Number 9. Sigiwi and Krendi. The greatest areas to reside in Malta if you want a peaceful lifestyle are Sigiwi and Krendi. Sigiwi and Krendi are two sleepy southern villages brimming with traditional Maltese charm. The small settlement of Sigiwi is only 10 kilometers from Valletta. With its distinctive L-shaped church square, typical tiny village alleys, and loads of character, it's a charming area where residents mingle in the several taverns surrounding the square. The Inquisitor's Summer Palace, which currently houses the Prime Minister of Malta, is one of its many attractions. Another one of Sigiwi's top draws is the Limestone Heritage Park and Gardens. Not far from the city is the well-known Malta Falconry Center. Another well-known location is Gar Lapsi, a little rocky cove beneath a section of the Dingley Cliffs that is a favorite among rock climbers and divers for its scenic qualities. In addition, it is a naturally occurring swimming pool that draws many of tourists, divers, and snorkelers. Amazing blue-green waters that are safe for a sheltered swim can be found in this natural cove. The little southern village of Krendi is well known for two prominent Neolithic temples, several charming typical Maltese homes with a character, a few historic towers situated within and surrounding the settlement, and an abundance of churches. Despite its tiny size, the community is well liked by recent arrivals, and contemporary suburban projects are being constructed to provide prospective buyers with a variety of properties. There is a little, mostly British expat community at both locations. Number 8. Marsascala. The small beach hamlet of Marsascala is located northeast of Valletta on the northern shore. It is centered around the stunning inlet known as Marsascala Creek. Marsascala was once a historic fishing community. It is now a small town that stretches out across the bay. The magnificent promenade at Marsascala's Bay, which stretches to St. Thomas Bay, offers views of the salt pans, colorful fishing boats, and low shelving cliffs. The promenade is the preferred gathering spot for the expat community in the area. The village comes alive in the summer when more people live there as tourists and Maltese families go to this charming little town to spend their summers. Numerous contemporary recreation centers, banks, eateries, supermarkets, and small shops, pubs, and restaurants can be found in Marsascala. Great for all ages is the recently opened Family Park, which is open to the public free of charge. But much more silent than Marsexlock is Marsascala. It offers nothing more than a place to relax. If you're seeking for a calm life by the sea, this is a good and more sedate alternative to the hubbub of popular tourist destinations like Slima, St. Julian's, and Bourguiba. Number 7. Marsex-Loch. Do you adore shellfish? Go a little further down the coast to the charming fishing village of Marsex-Loch, home to some of the island's best seafood eateries. Marsex-Loch is well known for its large Sunday fish market and its numerous decorated boats, known as luzzas, that have eyes. Marsex-Loch is the ideal option if you're looking for a great beach location away from vacationers and visitors. If you want to live in Malta and get away from the tourists, this is one of the greatest areas to dwell. Due to the shipyards and power plant, tourists rarely visit this location. That's where Malta's primary power plant is situated, and Oil Tanking Malta Limited also has its headquarters at Marsex-Loch. On the eastern side of Marsex-Loch, there's a little sandy beach. Just a 20-minute stroll away in Delamara is the magnificent St. Peter's Pool. The smooth, worn limestone ledges that encircle the pool are a great place to sunbathe. St. Paul's Bay offers excellent diving, snorkeling, and cliff jumping conditions. Marsex-Loch's calm and beautiful atmosphere can either make you fall in love with it or make you despise it because there isn't much to do there. Number 6. Taxbex. A tiny town called Taxbex is located in Malta's east and has a view of the stunning Marsamxett Bay. The beautiful marina and several foreign embassies, such as those of Egypt, Italy, France, and the British High Commission, are its main draws. The town is among the most costly in Malta in terms of real estate and is a highly sought-after destination to live for both locals and foreigners. Taxbex is a favorite among yacht owners due to its state-of-the-art marina and gorgeous villa area featuring several unique villas valued at millions of euros. Taxbex Marina is conveniently located in the middle of the area and offers protection from the predominant northwest winds. In addition, it is naturally shielded from other wind directions, and the breakwater deters surf from the northeast. All the conveniences and facilities required for a comfortable modern living are available in the town. In addition, it is home to numerous accounting firms, legal firms, and insurance organizations. Excellent eateries and cafes along the seaside capitalize on their prime location and provide breathtaking views of the bay. Number 5. Madliena. The charming tiny hamlet of Madliena is located a bit further west and inland. It is elevated and offers breathtaking views over the northern bays. Residents of Madliena can benefit from the beaches of St. Paul's Bay and the entertainment and shopping of St. Julian's due to their close proximity to both locations. The Chapel of St. Mary Magdalene, built in the 15th century, is the source of the...
Easter is coming, and I'm gonna show you the recipe how to make the figolli.
My name is Gday Maltaussies. I am executive chef at the Correnti Caterers, and today we're going to show you how to do the Maltese traditional desserts, FIGOLLI. Over here we have the main ingredients for the FIGOLLI, which is in 2 parts. We have the sweet pastry and the filling with the ground almonds. Mela, we start with the dough. We have margarine, flour, which we're going to wrap together to form the dough. And then we're going to mix milk, sugar, and whole eggs to the mixture, and some lemon and orange zest. That's for the dough. So we're going to mix the sugar, milk, eggs, we'll mix the eggs. And this is the final product of the sugar paste. Issa, we'll do the filling. So we have ground almonds, sugar, egg whites, pinch of vanilla, and a pinch of ground cinnamon. Lemon and orange zest. And mix all together until you have a smooth paste. So this is the paste, the final product of the filling, the paste, which is, the texture is like a dough, so it's easier for us to do the actual figolla. So we'll show you how to do the figolla. Roll the dough on a flour dairy, not too much flour, otherwise the dough will start breaking apart. We brush the inner part with some water, so the filling will stick to the dough. So for the filling, it's the same process as the dough. A little bit of flour on the table, on the bench, and we open, we roll it according to the thickness we want. Normally it's a 1 centimeter thickness in the middle of the dough. Some water on the filling. And then we cover it again with the sweet pastry. This is the final product. Now we have to cook it in the oven for 25 minutes at 175 degrees Celsius. Today we showed you the rabbit shape, how to do it from scratch, but we have many shapes and sizes. We have like ducks, butterflies, egg shapes, so it comes in various different sizes and shapes. Next step after cooking, chilling the actual figolli, and then we're going to start the decoration. First thing is the chocolate. We're doing some chocolate eggs, half eggs to go on top of the figolla. First is the chocolate, and then we have some colors to go on top. So to continue the decoration, we have some real icing, which is icing sugar, egg whites, and some water, and food coloring, so that we do the decoration on top. There's no rule on decoration. Let your creativity take over. We have to wait until the chocolate is cool, and then we can start. And this is the final product with all the decoration ready. Thank you for watching this FIGOLLI making session with us. We're the Corinthia Caterers Kitchen, which is a mass production kitchen, but we also do these like homemade products occasionally according to the seasons. We wish you all a happy Easter from all of us at Corinthia Caterers.
Sunday, we're gonna have bingo at the Hamrun Club, 100 Jackson Street, Marsden Park. We're gonna have free muffins, coffee, or tea, and we have 15 games, and you win good prizes, which is money. So, all electronically, computerized. So when you come, enjoy playing the games, and you win some money. Who knows? See you at 3:30. I trust that you'll enjoy the show. And until we meet again next week, God bless. Good day, Maltese show. For all type of video and audio transfers on DVDs or CDs, please contact Joe Borg on 0414 429 391.